All right, guys, check it out. So the markets are going crazy, and they have been for quite a while now. As you can see down here, we've got down to beginning of 2023, we're at 16,000, right? And then we made our way up all the way up to like in the 70,000 range, came down to the 50s, and then made a huge move up to 100K, which is what we're all seeing now. Came back down to the 70s and change, and then now we're seeing breaks above 100, and finally we're at and above 100 coming down from the top. So, big takeaways here. Are we still in a bull run? Absolutely, right? Couldn't be more clear here. I mean, we see price action moving up month over month, right? Quarter over quarter. So this is absolutely massive. These are the times where you want to have exposure into this thing. I mean, you're seeing now all types of publicly trading companies are now buying, acquiring, stockpiling Bitcoin, right? And crypto in general. And so with that being said, the opportunity has never been higher. The risk has never been lower, right? Some people are like, oh, I could have bought it back at 5,000 or 10,000. Sure, but there was still a lot of uncertainty in the markets, right? We didn't know whether or not crypto was going to get banned, like it was in some places around the world, China, places like that. And then all of a sudden now you have big banks. I mean, the biggest institutional banks and investment companies, right? Think Fidelity, BlackRock, biggest asset managers in the world are now starting to buy. So the opportunity is absolutely massive. It is there, and this is what we're all excited about in the crypto space. So with that being said, what should you do right now? I think it's pretty clear, right? There's a couple basic rules around this, but one, get your exposure up, right? This isn't financial advice, okay? This is what I'm doing, right? So I'm just going to share what I'm doing. And so you can see here on the right, we have a lot of different cryptos. I think if you're conservative, if you want to be safe, right? Bitcoin is the way to go. Okay, you can't go wrong with it, right? And honestly, if you don't have any Bitcoin and you're leaning towards Doge and all these other, you know, really shiny coins and things like this, it's not. You're kind of playing it wrong. Okay, have some Bitcoin. Look, how do you play it right? Have at least $5 in Bitcoin. I mean, at least you're doing something right, right? At least you're doing a little bit of the right play. Okay, not to say anything's wrong with Doge or anything's wrong with any of these other coins. I'm sure they're all great. I actually have some bags myself, but being able to diversify and have at least a little bit of the best, highest performing asset globally, the most sought after, some would say, asset globally now, probably right behind oil. But yeah, you want to have some of that. Okay, so pretty simple. Now, in terms of technical levels here, I'll go ahead and draw out a couple. So just to get an idea here, makes sense, heads or tails of this. So we've clearly got a huge level here at the 70K range, right? We kind of came close, rejected here. This was back in, I'll move myself over. This was back in 2021. And then same thing later towards quarter four of 2021. Same thing, came up rejected. Then we saw this low. So I'll go ahead and just put a line right there. So we were kind of in this range for a while, right? But, and we'll even do the math here, how long we're in this range for. All right, so 1,400 days. So definitely, right, from 2020 to 2024, about 4 years of time there. Okay, then what? We broke out above. All right, so now we're in a new paradigm as far as I'm concerned. Okay, and so how high will this go? I don't know, but I do know that there is more interest in Bitcoin right now and in crypto as a whole, in the technology as a whole, than ever before in history, right? And now you got big, massive banks and institutions, like I mentioned earlier, that are buying. So it's a no-brainer. This is a buy and a hold, right? It's almost criminal at this point to not have some exposure into Bitcoin, all right? Some people are saying that we are entering pretty much what happened with gold when the ETF first came out, right? So when gold's ETF first came out, what happened? We went on like a 10-year gold run, right? The gold rush. So basically for 10 years, gold kept going up and up and up and up and up, right? Why? Because it's easy to invest in. A lot of people were starting to invest in it. It was regulated, right? People had options now when it came to their 401ks, when it came to their Roth IRAs, all these different savings and investing platforms and vehicles, right? And so that's what we're starting to see here with Bitcoin, okay? Right now, I think I read something, a very small percentage of people in the world, and in America and in the world, have any allocation or exposure into Bitcoin at all. That's a problem, okay? And so, but that's a problem, but that's also an opportunity, right? The problem will fix itself. People will buy, no question there, right? A lot of people at the beginning said, I would never buy Netflix, I'd never buy internet stocks, and now what? It makes up most of people's portfolios, or at least a huge chunk of people's portfolios, right? So it's inevitable. It will happen. And so now what we want to do is take advantage of this opportunity because we are still early, right? The ETFs just got passed sometime in the last 12, 18 months, right? It's been recent. That's my point. And we're about to see that 10-year gold rush. At least that's what a lot of experts are projecting. So huge opportunities here. I would say, look, do I buy now? People ask me, do I buy at 112? Do I buy? It's a little high. Should I wait till 90? Should I wait until maybe 100? Here's the thing: if you know it's going to a million, does it really matter? That's the real thing. Does it really matter? If you know it's going to a million, if you know it's going to 500,000, if you know it's going to 300K, does it really matter? Here's the thing, right? What's the risk of you saying, okay, I'll buy next time it visits X, call X 70,000, right? Well, here's the risk is that this thing takes off without you, right? You will buy. It's just a matter of when you will buy, right? So keep it super simple for yourself. Buy now. Get some exposure. I'm not saying bet the house and the kids on it, right? We're not stupid here, okay? But get yourself some exposure into this asset class. And I don't even care if you don't know anything about the asset. Invest $5, okay? Not financial advice. Again, I got to make those disclaimers totally clear. But that's what I would do. I would tell everyone and their mom, hey, what I would do is I'd put $5 in there if I had zero in it. Let's just be totally clear about that, right? Pretty simple. And so put $5 and then learn about it, okay? It's $5. All right, you spend more on coffee at Starbucks, right? Or any other coffee shop, right? You spend more on Temu probably. So $5, set it aside, put it in here. You can do it very easily. If you're in the US, you can use Robinhood. Do it at the click of a button. You can use Cash App. Do it at the click of a button. You can do it on Coinbase, probably actually the best and easiest way to do it. Do that in 5-10 minutes, and you have $5 worth of it, okay? And at least you could check the box, okay? If this thing takes off, at least you have some exposure, okay? You don't have to, at the family parties in 5, 10, 15 years from now, when everyone's talking about how they've got this much Bitcoin or they wish they had bought, at least you bought, okay? You're not going to be the guy who said, I didn't buy. You're going to be the guy that said, but damn, I wish I bought more. That's a good place to be, okay? And so, or way better than the other place, all right? So pretty simple there. You also have Ethereum. This is like... think of like applications on the blockchain. Okay, they got a lot of stuff on here. Really interesting. They got DeFi stuff, so decentralized finance, absolutely massive. You got a lot of lending stuff, a lot of even games being built on Ethereum now. A lot of them have moved to layer 2s, but regardless though, still built on or at least using Ethereum, which is huge. I mean, this is an absolute monster right here. And if you check this out, right, we have really yet to break up above this 4,800 range, right? And so... huge opportunities here. You can't go wrong. But again, have $5 of Bitcoin, have $5 of ETH. If you do this, you can't mess up the bull run, okay? At least mess it up as bad if you had nothing, okay? Then learn about it. Then figure out, okay, what percentage, I mean, this is the real answer is, what percentage of my assets, what percentage of what it is that I have, do I want to have allocated into this space? The asset class that is the highest performing and the fastest growing globally in the world ever, okay? So $5 might be, point whatever percent, all right? You might say, hey, you know what? As I learn more, I maybe want to do 2%. Or you know what? Maybe I want to do 5%, right? Maybe for, younger dudes who are a little more aggressive, hey, maybe you want to do 10, 15, 20, 30%, whatever it is, okay? You figure that out for yourself. And obviously, I can help you. We could talk about it, whatever you want, or even better, talk to other people about it and see what it is that they're invested in, what allocations they have into it, right? Do some more research and start to develop your own opinions on this stuff in terms of the technology. You'd be surprised. So for every 10 people that tell me something bad about Bitcoin, only one of them can tell me anything about Bitcoin, right? It's crazy. So anyways, keep it simple for yourself. This is what I'm seeing. This is how you can win in the bull run in crypto right now, is just have some allocation, right? It'd be a shame for this thing to go up to $1 million and you don't even have $5 worth of it, right? And now look, a lot of people, all right, here's something else I get a lot, but I only have 100, or I only have 1,000, or I only have whatever it is to invest. This thing's already at 112 grand. Guys, it's here's the biggest thing, right? It's about starting, okay? I mean, you're not living off $1,000 a year, right? You're making money. I mean, you're spending way more than that in BS, and you're spending way more than that in real stuff like food and water and housing and rent and all these stuff, right? Education. And so get yourself a little bit. Just get started. That's it, right? And then if you want to look for more aggressive things where you can turn $1 into 10 quickly, things like that, then you can start looking at some of these other coins that present those type of opportunities, especially in market conditions like this where Bitcoin has gone up like crazy. But if we go to, say, even Ethereum, right, we're still nowhere near, breaks of the 2021 all-time high, right? This is like responsible for, I think, over like 60% of the decentralized ecosystem, right? I mean, this is a brand new space. You got top investment firms and companies that are obsessed with this stuff looking at it. Coinbase launched their own chain, right? It's called Base Network, all right? Their own blockchain called Base Network. And if you really look into it, you'll find out it's actually a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. So your bets into Ethereum are synonymous with bets into Base, right? There's a huge opportunity here is what I'm trying to say. We're at the beginning of the gold rush of this entire crypto space, and you do not want to miss out, all right? Pretty much wraps it all up. Try to keep this one short, pretty raw, just kind of give you my thoughts on things in terms of the markets, in terms of what it is that we're seeing. Lots of opportunity. Don't mess up, right? If you don't have anything allocated, buy $5 worth. That's it. You'll thank me later.